Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to the explainer on the leverage point designing for maximum effect. Today, we're exploring a massive, and I mean massive, shift in how we approach our work, our energy, and just our daily lives in general. We're drawing from Graham Farrow's really profound reflections on permaculture principles.
All right, picture this. It's 2012. You're typing furiously. You're digging heavily. You are just stressed out of your mind. You're basically the absolute king of the brute force method. Project isn't working? Push harder. Work longer. Sacrifice those weekends. You're out there moving literal mountains of mental earth, fighting the natural path of least resistance at every single turn, completely exhausting yourself for zero actual yield. And eventually, well, the system just snaps. Okay, take a breath. Let's slow down for a second. The modern trap wants you to push, but the designer wants you to pivot. That right there, that is the core realization that transforms burnout into abundance. Forcing things isn't just exhausting, it's actually just bad design. Which brings us to our first major shift, design over drudgery, escaping the 2012 collapse. Now, what's really interesting here is the complete reversal of how we normally operate. Fast forward to a 2026 mindset. Instead of battling against the current, Graham now works with the grain of his energy, not against it. Think about the workhorse approach. 100% doing, 0% designing. Obviously, that's a one-way ticket to burnout. But then you have Wilf Richards' ideal ratio for a permaculture designer. 20% physical implementation and a massive 80% spent in the thinking and design phase. It literally flips the brute force method entirely on its head. So all that design time, that 80%, is spent looking for exactly this, the least change for maximum effect. This is the true definition of a leverage point. It's the smallest possible adjustment that completely flips a system from decay right back toward abundance. In 2026, a high leverage move isn't about breaking a sweat. It's a slow, observant adjustment to a water valve, or maybe tweaking a digital setting. Honestly, sometimes the most powerful move you can make is doing absolutely nothing at all, just letting the system self-regulate. Finding the desire line. Stop fighting human nature.
And this brilliantly illustrates the problem with trying to force our lives into rigid, straight lines. Nature hates straight lines, right? And human nature hates them even more. Imagine a grassy park where people keep cutting across the corner. The brute force solution is creating a friction point, like building a fence to stop them. But come on, people will just jump over it. It's a losing battle. The leverage solution? That's the desire line. You simply move the path to match where people are already naturally walking. You match the energy flow instead of fighting it.
Graham actually applied this to his own life when he was financially broken. The brute force answer? Take a second manual labor job, which would have just accelerated his burnout. But he paused and he looked for the leverage point. Instead, he did a skill swap for Will's permaculture course. That single 1% strategic decision totally saved his energy and transformed him into a thriving horticultural consultant. Talk about a massive paradigm shift from one tiny pivot. So the crucial point is the 3-2-1 action plan, week 12. How do we actually take this permaculture theory and apply it directly to your daily schedule? Well, it starts with the number 3, 3 ethical filters or the leverage check. Think about earth care. Are we choosing natural regeneration over heavy mechanical force? Then there's people care. Are we prioritizing rest to prevent a collapse? And finally, fair shares. Does our efficiency actually create a surplus of time that we can share? It's kind of fascinating to ask ourselves how we can use these exact filters right now to spot the warning signs of burnout before it even happens. Next up is the number 2, applying the principle of least change across 2 zones. Step 1 is zone 0, your schedule. Remember that 80-20 rule? Find that one task that's sucking up 80% of your energy for barely 20% of the yield, and, well, just stop doing it for a week. Seriously. Step 2 is zone 1, your landscape. Find a friction point in your home, somewhere you're constantly fighting to keep things organized, and redesign it to fit your actual natural behavior. Stop fighting yourself. Let's move to, and see how this builds, the immediate yield. Start today. And that brings us to the number 1. This is where you can start building some real momentum today. I challenge you to identify just one small change you can make right now. Make a single phone call, move one tool to a better spot, or tweak one digital setting to finally solve that recurring annoyance. That single act is your leverage yield. It's the preventative stitch in time that saves massive energy down the road. Ultimately, the whole goal of this explainer is a total shift in identity. We are no longer laborers, we are conductors. When you stop acting like a laborer, trying to outmuscle every problem, and you start acting like a conductor, orchestrating the natural flow of energy, literally everything changes. You replace that brute force trap with strategic adjustments, and that ensures your abundance isn't just some fleeting season of luck, but a permanent integrated reality.
So, I want to leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to find your leverage? Look around your life today. Look for those desire lines. Stop pushing, start designing, and discover that one small pivot that changes absolutely everything.